So today, primarily we will be giving some context for the piece of mine, Mercurius, which appears in the visual arts, the visual music screenings that we'll be able to see this evening. So Modulated Feedback, Particle Flow Rotations and Archetypes of Dissolution is a nice dramatic title I came up with, and Dennis requested such. So we'll be really perhaps unpacking a little bit what those terms mean. But first I'd like to put the piece in the context of a series of pieces I've created called the Luna series. And Mercurius is the first of those, followed by Lacus Temporis and then Sinus Estum. These three pieces are all named after moon features, hence the name Luna series. And they were really trying to deal with a common technological and aesthetic approach and trying to see how much mileage, how much contrast you could get out of the same basic set of tools with only just small expansions of those tools. There are a number of core aesthetic concerns within these pieces. The first one, continuous unfolding, and this started with my piece Autarkia Aggregatum, which showed in SIGGRAPH in the past, and some may be familiar with a particular visual algorithm in which I did no edits. It was a continual transformation of a set of around 12,000 points, algorithmically controlled from the beginning to the end of the piece. And I wanted to continue that idea and bring it into the audio realm as well. The second primary issue is a sensibility, as I say, informed by Vipassana meditation practice. And again, this tie has already been mentioned this morning, historically of a strong interest in issues of meditation and Eastern philosophy, and here I find myself being part of that as well. In saying this, by saying a sensibility, I want to emphasize the idea that these are not somehow programmatic representations of meditation experience, something like that. I'm saying that fundamentally, as my worldview has been shaped and transformed by the meditation practice, that this then naturally begins to impact the way I conceive of myself as a composer. And in fact, this impacts directly our third bullet here, dramatic shaping. I see myself trained heavily as a composer, so one of my primary tasks is to be a sculptor in time, to use the great film director Andrei Tarkovsky's term, sculptor in time, right? Creating dramatic shape. However, inasmuch as something like a Vipassana meditation practice can make one begin to be aware of how the dramas in one's own life are fabrications of one's own mind, and that we can actually be addicted to these fabrications. We can perpetuate dramas in our lives. It may actually be destructive for us, but we're addicted to that process and aren't even aware of that. This is the kind of thing that can begin to become clear to oneself in a meditation practice. And this, of course, for me, started to reflect on the idea of making dramatic form in the sense that we looked at throughout the Western musical tradition, starting to challenge that. And so part of these pieces, and also Autarkia Aggregatum, the previous piece, sort of a searching, both a discovery and an enactment of a deep inner fullness that expresses itself outwardly, audibly and visibly, in elegant, self-sufficient restraint. Trying to find this different kind of relationship to an emotional unfolding that is not built around a grasping for it, an addiction to it, but allowing it to be a natural unfolding, not repressing it. And I don't find the Cagean approach to this problem quite convincing for myself, at least. So trying to find another solution. And then this last bullet is the one I'm going to try to explain a little bit here. Isomorphism of complex gestalts. This, I think, is the key approach to trying to associate sound and image, these relationships.